Well, welcome back to the Piney Woods Homestead, y'all. I am going to substitute a walk and talk with a gardening video today. I hope that you guys don't mind. Behind, y'all, I'm behind. Been busy working off the homestead. And so beans have to be picked today. But I was standing here looking at this corn, y'all. It's pretty corn. And it still has moisture down here in this bottom ground. That's why gardens are great if you have bottom land to put them there. But y'all, we need some rain. And I'd imagine it'll get here at some point, probably in the form of a thunderstorm that hopefully won't lay this corn over this year. Guys, thanks for stopping in at the Piney Woods Homestead. Hit that like and subscribe if you hadn't. And if you have, as always, y'all, we appreciate you. I'm gonna get started on picking some beans before the sun gets on me. Now, y'all, what I'm after today, this is the first picking on the green beans. I'm after young and tender, so that this, not for canning. My goal with today's picking is blanch and freeze, because we love skillet green beans. Throw a little bit of lard or bacon grease or butter in a cast iron pan and saute them down with some seasonings. They are fantastic, just like eating a fresh bean out of the garden. And if you get them while they're young like this, that's a pretty good sized bean. You could can it, but it makes a great tender sauteed bean. You get them when they're young on this first picking especially, there are no bug bites whatsoever. And y'all, this garden has not even been sprayed for insect control in at least 2 weeks. And the methods that we use are generally pyrethrin or a pyrethroid. So good clean beans. All right, so I have picked about 10 feet so far. Remember, this is a double row planting that we did here at these Blue Lakes. And that's what I'm looking for, that size bean. One problem that I am seeing right now is, maybe you can see in here, do you see just how heavily laden these plants are with beans? Y'all, there's been no fertilizer at all put on these beans. We never put fertilizer on our beans down here. And I think that's just because of any kind, you know, organic or otherwise. Because we cover crop so intensively every single year, and that organic matter just turns into a great substrate to plant into. And so we don't end up throwing any kind of fertilizer to any of our beans. And matter of fact, we have not fertilized any okra, and we have only fertilized the tomatoes, I believe, when Lisa initially planted them. So we have really limited what our inputs are into the garden this year. But because these bean plants are so heavily laden with beans, and it is dry, y'all, it's been hot and dry. Even down here in this bottom ground, where there is a little bit of moisture still in these hills, because it will hold it, it's getting dry, it's starting to crack. And the bean plants themselves are starting to suffer a little bit. So they are bending over and breaking off. And that's not what you want. So I'm being extra cautious picking these beans, because y'all, all it's going to take is a shower of rain to revive these bean plants that look pretty good, but they'll look a whole lot better with some moisture. I don't want to break them off, because there's at least 3 pickings on here. And it's the second picking where you get the bumper crop, and that'll be for canning. So I'm going to gingerly go down through here as gingerly as I can and pick these tender beans. Put this camera on a little time lapse, and we'll see how long it takes me. Got 130 feet to go, it looks like. Y'all, I have only gotten a quarter of this done so far, and it's slow going because you got to be so careful because the ground is so dry that you pull the bean plants up. And I've pulled a couple of them up, but I've only done a quarter, and probably not even that much because I started out straddling the rows. But y'all, these rows get pretty wide and my legs are long, but I'm not as limber as I used to be. But so far I got probably about 5 pounds of green beans here. But duty calls. I had a phone call while I was working. A man needs some excavator work done, so I'm going to have to take a pause on this and probably come back at it tonight before it gets dark and while it's hopefully a little bit cooler. So let's talk real quick about the economics of all of this while I'm walking out of here. Sun's starting to get on me too, y'all. And I don't mind sweating, but there's only so much water I can consume while I'm out here. Economics. Sit these beans down. We do not garden because it's cheaper than going and buying it somewhere else from another local farmer or store or what have you. We garden because we like knowing that we're not putting all kinds of harmful chemicals on what we're consuming. That's the main reason we garden. It's a whole lot easier just to go buy it. And honestly, for the two of us, it's probably, in the long run, between all the labor that we put in, it's probably cheaper. But we do it because we want good, clean, healthy food. And I'd imagine that that's why you guys that are watching are doing it too. Guys, that's gonna wrap it up for today. There's so much more out here to pick. I'm seeing banana peppers longer than my foot almost. And that's saying something. Plenty to do, and I got cucumbers in a salt brine that have been soaking. Got to get me a hot brine made on the stove. Start fermenting some more pickles. Guys, we hope y'all have a good day, a great week. I'll have a walk and talk next Saturday, but today this is what you're getting. I hope that's okay. All right, guys, we'll see you on the next one. Good Lord willing, if the creek don't rise too high.